When will boomers sell their homes? For nearly two-thirds of them, the answer is never. Fresh data shows 61% of boomer homeowners say they'll live in their homes for the rest of their lives. That number is up 7 points from last year. Meanwhile, just 10% expect to sell in the next 5 years. That means the long theorized silver tsunami of homes flooding the market simply isn't coming. Roughly 90% of homes owned by boomers won't be listed until the 2030s or later. And it's not just sentiment, it's structural. More than two-thirds of boomers expect to walk away with six-figure profits if they sold today. 1 in 8 expects $500,000 or more. These are people who bought for $50,000, sometimes less, and now sit on properties worth between $400,000 and $500,000. And over 70% admit that they got lucky buying when they did. So even though the incentives seem obvious, sell now and cash out, most won't. Why is that? Because housing is no longer just shelter. For boomers and for everyone in America, homes have become the ultimate store of value. Two-thirds of them say buying their home was one of their greatest financial achievements, while only 29% say it's nothing more than a place to live. In fact, homes now make up nearly 60% of the average American homeowner's net worth. This is not how housing markets are supposed to function. Shelter was supposed to be affordable, replenished by new supply, and transferable between generations. Instead, housing has morphed into a politically protected asset class. Almost three-quarters of boomers say they value stability in their community over affordability for younger generations. And 59% say that they'd vote for a politician who protects home values even if it locks the next generation out of the market entirely. Think about that. The largest voting bloc in the US is explicitly signaling that higher home prices matter more than young Americans being able to own one. That's just one of the reasons that affordability today is worse than at the peak of the 2008 bubble. This isn't an accident, it's deliberate policy. And the result is a frozen system. Boomers won't sell because they're sitting on paid-off mortgages, rock-bottom rates, and the comfort of aging in place. And young people can't buy because they're competing with artificially scarce supply in a political system designed to keep prices climbing. Completely backwards and totally broken. But this is where Bitcoin comes in. Instead of funneling capital into housing to use it as a store of value, Bitcoin gives people an alternative. It siphons capital out of real estate and into a scarce global apolitical monetary network. And more than ever, the conversation is shifting to divesting from real estate, whether they're investment properties or rentals, and buying Bitcoin instead. Unlike a house, Bitcoin is divisible down to 100 millionth of a coin. It's portable, liquid, and independent of geography. So for millennials and Gen Z, stacking Bitcoin offers a way to build wealth at a pace that can actually outstrip housing price growth. If you think about it this way, the average US home appreciated about 3 to 4% annually over the last few decades. The last year, it's been under 2%. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's compounded annual growth rate since inception is over 50%. Even if you haircut that massively going forward, Bitcoin gives savers a tool to escape being permanently priced out of homeownership. It's also generationally fair. Instead of waiting for boomers to finally exit the market or blaming them solely for this issue, of which it's not their own creation, or for Washington to pass housing policy that prioritizes affordability over asset values, Bitcoin lets you start building equity of your own right now. Because if homes remain politically protected, which they probably will, if 61% of boomers never plan to sell, then the system is rigged to lock you out. The only way to fight back is to opt out, stop treating homes as the only path to wealth, and start stacking an asset that isn't controlled by politicians, protected by voter blocks, or constrained by zoning boards. Bitcoin gives young people a pressure release valve, a way to save faster, buy freedom, and eventually a way to buy homes too, without waiting for the silver tsunami that seems like it will never arrive. So the question isn't when boomers will sell, the question is, when will you start stacking Bitcoin to get to your homeownership goal faster? That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and repost so more people can see this. And of course, check out Horizon. If you are an existing homeowner, Horizon lets you buy Bitcoin using your home equity without new debt, monthly payments, interest charges, or term limits. You can check that out by going to joinhorizon.com or by scanning the QR code right there. That's all for today's video. Thanks again for watching. I'll talk to you soon.